If you dance salsa on 1 or on 2, you may have heard some dancers of other styles say things like, "Those academy-style salsa dancers think they dance better than everyone else." But why do some get that impression? Why do some formally trained dancers, specifically those who learned in studios or dance schools, seem to look down on dancers who learn socially, culturally, or simply through experience? Because if you grew up dancing salsa, not from classes, but from family, culture, parties, and community, you may have felt that your way of learning wasn't being valued. And if you're a linear style dancer, you may have been accused of believing you're superior simply because of the style that you dance. In fact, some have complained that linear style dancers have looked down on their salsa dancing simply because they didn't take classes. It seems that somewhere along the way, a hierarchy crept onto the dance floor, one where formal training often gets placed at the top and everything else gets measured against it. And once that happens, people can start blaming dance styles for a problem that may actually come from something else much deeper. So today, we'll examine an issue that some may not have thought about before. The last video mentioned how toxic issues that some notice in the salsa scene, issues like commercialization, exploitation, and even abuse of power, aren't necessarily caused by the dance style itself, but possibly by something else. So if you haven't seen that video yet, please check it out. But when it comes to the issue of some trained dancers feeling superior to untrained dancers, well, something similar may be happening. Because in today's salsa dancing scene, you'll find dancers from very different backgrounds, some trained in structured classes and others who learn socially, like those who grew up directly in the culture. But interestingly, those differences don't just affect how people dance, they can also affect how dancers perceive one another. So before we go further, let's quickly define something. What does it actually mean to learn salsa dancing formally versus informally? Well, formal learning usually involves learning in organized classes with instructors, level systems, syllabi, where techniques are broken down and taught step by step with counts. However, informal learning is more organic. It can happen just by spending time in the cultural environment, dancing socially while observing and imitating others, or by simply growing up around the music and the culture. Now, on the surface, these are just two different ways of learning, but in practice, they can sometimes lead to very different mindsets. Because when you learn in a structured environment, you're often given clear definitions. What's right, what's wrong, what's considered beginner versus intermediate or advanced. But in some cases, that same structure can also unintentionally create a sense of hierarchy, potentially causing some dancers who paid for lessons to look down on others who learned informally in the culture, labeling authentic rhythm as unrefined, simply because it wasn't taught in a studio or validated by a formal credential. But why might this happen? Well, in some cases, structured learning can lead people to feel like they understand something more deeply than others, not necessarily because they do, but because their knowledge has been organized, labeled, and reinforced in a very definitive way. Therefore, for some individuals, formal training can become a source of status rather than simply a way of learning. But the tendency to think this way may go deeper than salsa dancing, because you might even see it happen in other areas like music, academics, skilled trades, and many other skill sets. Whenever there's a formal path and an informal one, there's always the potential for people to assign more value to one over the other. But how might something like this happen? Well, imagine two people who both play the piano, Mark and Kevin. Mark learned formally through classes and structured training, but Kevin learned informally because his father played the piano. So, Kevin grew up around the music, listening, experimenting, and absorbing it naturally over time. But since Mark took classes to learn, he can start to feel like he is the real piano player because he received official advanced formal training, and this might cause him to view Kevin as just an amateur, an untrained musician who isn't on the same level as he is, simply because Kevin learned informally. However, here's something that might get overlooked. Some very well-known musicians, even some whose work is studied in schools and universities around the world, didn't learn in formal classes themselves, but rather they learned informally through self-study, listening, imitating, and playing alongside other musicians. So do you think that perhaps informal training is just as valid as formal training? So maybe instead of viewing native salsa dancers as untrained, perhaps we can say that all dancers are trained. It's just a question of whether they were trained formally or informally, and in what style. So the question here perhaps isn't really which way of learning is better. Maybe the real question is, why do we sometimes attach status to the way someone learned in the first place? So maybe the problem isn't really about which style a dancer learned, but rather the attitude towards the way they learned it. And when we realize that, then the conversation changes. Because if this attitude can potentially affect people in other styles of dance, and even in things that have nothing to do with music or dancing, then maybe this issue is just a symptom of a much larger problem. So do you think that maybe it's important to respect and appreciate the variety of salsa dancing styles out there, regardless of which style the person dances or how they learned? Please let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. So far, we've discussed several myths about linear salsa dancing, but in our next video, we'll take a look at a few myths regarding salsa music. So until next time, stay safe, stay connected to the music, and most importantly, keep dancing salsa.